This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
The stakes have never been higher. The competition has never been stronger. 42 drivers, 25 rounds. One will be crowned champion. Competition. Commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. You're watching the premier American open wheel series on iRacing. The Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by First Medical Equipment starts now.
Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. After rainy weather the previous day and upon looking at a beautiful blue Illinois summer sky, legendary Chicago Cubs shortstop Ernie Banks coined the phrase, "Let's play two." Today, Ernie gets his wish. Because sponsored by First Medical Equipment, the Lionheart IndyCar Series comes to Belle Isle for the Loud Pedal Motorsports Duel at Detroit. Bartender making a double on tap both rounds 6 and 7 with full race points offered for each. For the drivers, it's 34 laps on the island. Then the 6 a.m. radio alarm clock plays "I Got You, Babe," and they do it all over again. And you can see all the double-header action from green flag to victory donuts to green flag to victory donuts live as it happens right here on the iRacing Esports Network. From Motown, hello everyone, and welcome to the Sim Experience Countdown to Green. Over the next 15 minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to appreciate the Loud Pedal Motorsports Duel at Detroit that will immediately follow as we indeed count down to green. Signed, sealed, and delivered, and yours truly, Bill Soupson, joined way up in the press box to bring you our bird's eye view by former real-world IndyCar driver Richie Hearn. I'm Jed Yaman, has director duties, armed with cameras locked and loaded by Dougie Beard. Reggie, Belle Island is a real kidney shaker.
Yeah, thank you, Soup. And here we are at Motown in Detroit on the little island called Belle Isle. Some people on the service call this IndyCar's Monaco in the sense that it's very fast, very narrow, very bumpy, and probably the hardest part is that the road is very crowned in a bunch of places, so it's hard to keep those four tires on the ground. I love this place. I've raced here in real life. I had one of my best qualifying laps ever here, but it is tough to pass, and it is punishing, meaning one tiny mistake and you're done. But probably the best way for your viewers to see what this tricky place is like is to jump on board that GSRC lap guide.
All right, we've got Phil Lake in the GSRC IR18, so let's do a lap around Detroit. Down through turns 1 and 2, these are very swift with little room for error. Be careful over the hump on the exit of 2 because you can either wash out into the wall or get loose and slide it across into the opposite side. On the run to 3, expect most passes to be made here. But if you think you won't be able to make the turn, it's better to bail out early or else you'll just plow into the tires. After that, you've got a short squirt on the power before 4, which is a little quicker than you'd expect. Then you've immediately got to switch sides for 5. The way this corner narrows up makes it unwise to go too wide here. After that is the critical exit for turn 6. There's a crest on the entry to cause understeer and then a bunch of bumps coming off of it that make applying the power an exercise in patience. But don't hesitate too much because you need as much speed as possible down the backstretch along the Detroit River. However, know that the racing line takes the braking across the track, so it's hard to tell if someone is defending. Now it's mostly single file through the fountain section where you're going to head past the casino. Even though it's tough to pass, you don't want to give up too much time by being slow in this part. 11 is the sharpest and slowest turn on the course, once again requiring a light right foot to keep the bumps from spinning the tires too much. Then you've got 12 and 13, two of the most underrated corners on the track. Fast, with no room on either side for mistakes, you've got to be absolutely perfect to nail these. At last, you're free to open up the throttle again through the final turn, and you've now hopefully finished a lap around Detroit.
And there we have a lap around Detroit Belle Isle. As you can see, it's just a narrow canyon here. Lots of bumps, big curbs too. In that center section around the fountain, it's very tricky, long corner. And you hit those curbs and it's just going to send you right off. And, there's a couple of good passing spots, I guess, if you want to call them that. You got the one long straightaway going into turn 3, I guess they call it. And the backstretch, but the backstretch is not quite straight, so it is really tricky. So it's going to be an interesting race, Soup.
There you have it. Let's go right to our points right now. Take a look at those real quick, and we'll talk about them. Now, you got a couple Adrenaline Motorsports drivers sitting first and third. Neither one of those guys have a win. We're talking about Adam Blocker and Andrew Kinsella. That's not the case for Dan Guerin, who sits in second. He has 2 wins, but nevertheless not able to get up to Blocker. Another driver that picked up a win earlier this season is the Candyman, Dustin Wardlow, having a good race series from him. Everybody else filing in line. There are other championships to look at, so let's go ahead and take a look at the team championships now. If we bring those up, you can see that we talked about Adrenaline Motorsports being powered there by Blocker and Kinsella. They sit well at the top. Everybody pretty much holding station. This is a race sponsored by Loud Pedal Motorsports, so it's nice to see that they have their team. The Cancer Down team, as they're sporting 2 teams. Thumbs up, Cancer Down, they sit 5th and 6th. Cancer Down team, though, up 4 positions. Great results there from Galvin, Hassard, and Lanini. One last championship to look at, and we'll give that to Richie Hearn to talk about the rookies.
Yeah, the Rookie of the Year standings presented by Butt Kicker, as you can see on screen, with Carey up 1 position, taking that top spot with 169 points. Right behind him, Sage Karam, not really a rookie, but rookie to this series, does lose 1 spot, and I'm not sure he's here tonight. We got Rigney up 4 spots, up in the top 3, and then not really any other movers and shakers. We got Corns in 12th, up 2. This is going to play out. There's some really fast guys in this group, and how this plays out at the end will be interesting to watch.
And of course, everything on the Countdown to Green is brought to you thanks to Sim Experience, the team behind the AccuForce Pro V2 direct drive steering system. By providing unparalleled realism and the most advanced tuning features on the market, the AccuForce provides a significant advantage to any sim racer. And it can also make for an effective training tool for real-world drivers. For more information on the entire Sim Experience ecosystem, including their GS5 Seat Stage Series motion system and the Sim5 software, visit simexperience.com. Hey, I got a promo code for you. SimXLion to get 5% off your Sim5 software. Good to have them on board. As always, we have so many sponsors that make this possible. What is this exactly? Well, this is the Lionheart IR18. It's considered this Lionheart IndyCar Series is considered the premier series for the IR18 on the iRacing service, and the Lionheart IndyCar Series honors the memory of the late Dan Weldon. And now, once again, it is time for a fan favorite segment. It's Professor Lugnut's setup corner. There he is.
Teacher, the rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain. right? Oh, soup. Sorry, Soup. Hey, I was a little busy there. Listen, this week we're talking about the front wings. This is actually part 2. It's 2 races tonight, so it makes sense that we do part 2. Listen, mounted to the nose cone, the 2 main planes extend out to either side, virtually flat in the center, with a slight bow to either side. The main plane's function is to support the upper elements and end fence, while it also directs smooth air towards the underside of the car. It does serve to create some downforce on its own. However, the majority of the downforce is produced by upper elements. Get it? Okay. The upper elements are where the real magic happens. On the road course, you can run either a single or double elements on the front, and they can be adjusted between 8 and 20 degrees by a small knob on top of the end fence. In addition, downforce can be increased by adding tiny strips called wickers. Fear the wicker man. Increasing the wing angle or increasing the size of the wicker both create downforce and drag. Downforce holds the car on the track, while drag slows the car down in a straight line. The race engineer constantly searching for ways to maximize downforce while minimizing drag. Getting the right balance between the angle of the wing and the right wicker height is one of the biggest ways they can achieve this balance. Got it? Good.
Okay, I'm on board with that. I was paying attention, so very important here today to keep the car from banging into the walls, is to make sure that the front tires grip. Richie, let's go ahead and talk about the series details.
Yep, and these series details come to us thanks to Minus 273, the premier name in karting gloves. For more information on Minus 273's full line of gloves and apparel, visit minus273.biz. Please use promo code LHRS for 25% off all your orders. And here we are, the series details. We're in Season 7 of the Lionheart IndyCar Series. We are working round 6 and 7. Full points available for both out of 24. They do get 3 driver drops for the year, so that'll play in as we get closer. Using the Dallara IR18, the setups are fixed, but they have been adjusted to give a really good drivability, but you can't change anything. And we're also working on cash and prizes totaling $9,652.
All right, we've ran through all the business. Now we can turn our attention to the business on the track. Qualifying is underway as we speak. Adam Blocker sitting on the top. Connor Harrington, though, right behind him, just a 10th off.
Yeah, these guys are putting in some good laps. Those getting into the 113s is tough to do. I did some practice laps on these guys, and I struggled to get down, I think, even into the 115s with the few laps I put into there. So these guys are really pushing the envelope, and you can see the walls on the track and no room to make a mistake. So one little mistake and your lap is done. And I think qualifying is going to be super important for these races, as passing will be a premium, and just missing the wrecks are going to be a premium.
So there will be qualifying for both rounds, both this first round and then the round number 7 that comes up immediately after this. The grid is not based on the results from the first heat. You talked about Sage Karam not being here. I guess the young man has other things on his mind today, with the actual Indy 500 coming up in just over that be 4 days from now. Congratulations to the young man.
That's kind of important.
He worked his way. Congratulations, as he earned his way onto the grid. There you can see what's going on. You can see Blocker and Harrington sitting there. Guerin. How about Tyler Groff doing really well? This is sitting in 4th. That's a nice spot from him.
Yeah, like I say, I think, if you can qualify in the top 10, you're going to be feeling pretty good, because those guys in the mid to backpack are going to be really susceptible to, kind of a multi-car crash that might block the whole circuit.
You're looking there at Stefan Larkamp, the Pennsylvania driver. Sitting well down the order right now in what would be 19th spot, seeing if he can better that. A whole 1.5 seconds behind the leader. And Adam Blocker puts in the fastest lap, 1:13.6.
Yeah, 1:13.6, 1:13.8, 1:13.9, very close for those top 3.
There's Dan Guerin getting that one out of the way early.
Not the fast way around.
Well, he's sitting in 3rd. He's feeling comfortable where he is. Michael Goodman, the New York driver, little farther down than he'd like, and to be inside of row 4 right now if things stay where they are. He's about half a tenth back of George Sandman to pick up a spot.
We only got about 50 seconds left here. We do have a few people that have not put in lap times, but we're going to have a big field tonight.
Row 3 going to be really interesting with Damon Martinez and George Sandman sitting 5th and 6th right now. Still waiting for Sandman to hit his stride. Just hasn't quite shown what we would speak. There's Brian Yaczik inside the top 10.
Yeah, Sandman had 14.2. He did put in a 13.8 in practice, so he did have some more speed in that. But, you know, 6th place is not going to be too bad. But we did see Damon Martinez in that last race be really aggressive out there. So, like you said, that's going to be pretty interesting on the start.
You can see Yaczik work his way through what the kind of call that the fountain section there. Is this you go in to the interior of the racetrack. Does not get in his qualifying lap, so I guess that's going to be it. Let's go ahead and get you the grid right now. I'll take the top 10. It is Adam Blocker inside of Connor Harrington. My goodness, that's pretty. Dan Garrett and Tyler Graff sitting there in the second row. We talked about this. Damon Martinez and George Sandman sitting in row 3. Michael Goodman and Dustin Wardlow go 7th and 8th. Row 5 is populated by Brian Yaczik and Andrew Havakech Kinsella, a little farther back than he would have thought. Richie?
Yep, starting 11th will be Samuel Ryman. Right next to him in 12th will be Brian Carey. Starting 13th, Brian Beard and David Altman in 14th. Justin Weaver, 15th. John Hill, 16th. Stefan Larkamp in 17th. Chris Lanini, 18th. Justin Kirby, 19th. And Bob Mikas in 20th.
My goodness, it's like 4th of July here. Look at the spectacular going on with those graphics. Hidden Blackjack, Chris Stouffer is going to be inside of Cousin Dupree. That's Isaiah in the double duck spot. Brandon Lickerman and Brian is not easily being Greenlee in the double dozens position. Joe Branch behind him inside of Ron Hacker. George Anzaldo, Big Joe Hazard in 28th. Tony Showen goes 29th. Scotty Johnson is outside of him.
31st to be Joe Flanagan. Next to him will be Scott Bolster. The rest of these gentlemen did not put in a lap time. So we got Bart Workman, 33rd, James Brandt, 34th, Paul Jenkins, 35th, Mike Rigney, 36th, and right on the back row there is Ken Hacker in 37th.
We don't quite have a full pace lap all the way around, but we do have onboard cameras for not only this round, we also have them for next round as well. We look at those right now, waiting for the guys to begin to roll. We'll start with Chris Lanini in the Plasma Tracks onboard camera machine. Hey, don't get your dad a tie for Father's Day. Plasma-tracks.com. I'm telling you, check it out. Next driver we're going to look at is going to be Scott Bolster. He's in the Butt Kicker onboard camera, bring more realism and immersion to your sessions. Thebuttkicker.com. And finally, our final onboard camera is going to be Brian Yaczik in the Loud Pedal Motorsports, sporting a pair of teams for Season 7, Loud Pedal Motorsports, thumbs up and cancer down. There you have it. And now, it is time to go racing. The pace car pulls in. Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. Adam Blocker leads them down into the first corner.
Yeah, it's a really tricky section as they go over that hump with cold tires. We got some wreck already in the back there. Justin Wardlow getting over that hill and catching that inside wall. No yellows here.
He didn't catch anybody. It was all the Candyman all by himself. He'll have to chew on that nugget for a while. Blocker ahead of Connor Harrington right now.
Single file all through here. You can see how bumpy it is. These cars bounce around going down the back stretch for the first time. It's not quite straight, but it is all flat out.
Other than that incident, everybody else has been clean. And they complete the first lap.
Almost.
Now they do. Now they do.
Coming around that fountain section, which I talked about earlier, is really tricky. This section they're coming to right here, it's probably one of my favorite parts. It's really fast, just left or right, and you get right up next to the wall. Now they're coming across the start-finish line.
There we go.
Just about, yep, to complete lap 1.
Back up to Sunset. Oh, there was some more issues from Brian Greenlee. Oh my goodness, we might have to come back and look at this one because on his lid is Tony Schowen. We'll take a peek at that when the action provides. Let's take a look right now at P1 though.
Yeah, Connor Harrington got really close to the back of Adam Blocker. We also had to change position with Tyler Graff on the opening lap. He got by Dan Guerin, and now he's right on the tail of Connor Harrington. Everybody just kind of stacked up here.
Oh, that my technical gremlins are behind me now. I can pull attention back out onto the track. Blocker, Harrington, Graff, Guerin, and Sandman, your top 5. Drivers
he got by Damon Martinez at the start as well.
Other drivers that have had an issue, Paul Jenkins also bounced it off the wall on the first lap. So, my goodness. All right, we're going to go back and take a look at the very first incident. This happened very early on.
Yeah, as they come over this hill, and it just gets light, and the tires are cold, and that happens really easily. So I can understand how that happened.
Good news is the Candyman didn't hit anybody on that one. This is our next incident, and you see Brian Greenlee involved in this one as well.
Wow, you can see how it all stacks up there and takes out a couple of cars.
One more time from above. Who's that red and white car we're looking at there, Director? Okay. Oh, that's Tony Schowen. There we go. He's the guy who goes over and there's Schowen on his lid. Now we come back live.
Yeah, we got a pass here, Michael Goodman, and getting around Brian Yaczik getting around Michael Goodman.
Big one from Dan Guerin, and Kinsella gets into him. Happened right in front of Damon Martinez. Dan Guerin, actually right in front of George Sandman. Sandman gets by him underneath. Martinez gets by him from going behind. And Kinsella tried to get by him by going through him.
Yeah, if you watch the replay closely, you'll see him clip the curb right there and just kind of loses control. And unfortunately, he's in a spot, gets hit, and he's able to back up, get going again, but he's got some damage on that rear wing.
So the drivers that sit second and third in the points, Guerin and, Kinsella's not up there, is he? That was from seasons long ago. Kinsella trying to make his way back up.
And I think Andrew Kinsella had some problem. He's struggling to get back to the pit lane. His car is not driving straight, so his race is going to be over with.
Doubted myself. Indeed it is. Guerin and Kinsella sitting second and third in the points. Come on, Sue. I know what you're talking about.
Guerin has spun out again.
Again from Guerin. He was way back in 28th, happened right in front of Paul Jenkins.
Yeah, just lost it all on his own and pancakes the wall. Doesn't hit anybody, but just insult to injury there.
There are good news for Guerin and Kinsella, and that is there's a brand new race coming up. And they won't have to worry about repairing their race cars. They just roll out a fresh machine, try it one more time.
I'd like to point out that Adam Blocker, man, he has opened up a 2-second gap on Connor Harrington. He has dusted him off in this last lap. So I don't know, Connor made a mistake, but Adam's putting in some quick laps at the moment. His last lap was almost 0.8 of a second faster. So he's keeping out of trouble. Connor has Tyler Groff all over the back of him, but it doesn't look like he has any damage or anything. So Adam's just putting the hammer down early on here.
Let's leave that one for a minute. Go back to 9th position. This is David Altman. He's trying to get up to Samuel Ryman, but that's really not where his attention should be. It should be on the Moby Dickey's machine of Justin Weaver back there in 10th. Weaver has been all over the back of Altman. It's just so hard to pass here.
Yeah, it is tough to pass. You almost have to wait till that person makes a tiny mistake. You know, as the run goes on, tires are going to be wearing out, getting the power down. It's going to be tricky. So I think we'll see some moves once people start making mistakes as their tires go away.
Yeah, the front five have all pretty much stretched away. The best excitement right back here in this train. With apologies to a man that I have announced many a race with, Samuel Ryman. He might be the cork of the bottle. Here comes a pass behind. This is Altman, and sure enough, Moby Dickies gets the pass made. Justin Weaver now up into 9th.
Yeah, nicely done. There's not a lot of room to make that pass, but he just made his presence known and just took it. It's a really fast corner that he committed on.
That pass out of the way, I can report that Dan Guerin still has his car out there. He is way off pace. Just trying to vulture some positions right now. He's racing in 27. Clearly thinking big picture. So you look at the Moby Dickies machine after he gets around Altman. What does he have to get another position? Well, he's got to get up to Ryman. That's about 0.7 of a second. We'll keep an eye on that one. Another good battle back in 12th. Justin Kirby being hounded by Stefan Larkamp. They work their way into the Bowden section. While that happened, poor Bob Mikas just had a spin. He damaged his car a little bit. No need to go there as we continue to ride on board.
Adam Blocker continuing to pull ahead. He's now 3.2 seconds up on Connor Harrington, so he's just got his head down, doing his duty. He's going to get some lap traffic at some point, so that might play a part, obviously, when they pit and everything like that. But he's doing a great job just keeping that car clean.
Let's go ahead and look at, boy, it did not take long for the Moby Dickies machine of Justin Weaver to get Sam Ryman. Look at that.
Yeah, it looks like Sam kind of gave him the position, didn't fight too hard. Probably knew that he was coming, and Sam's thinking big picture here, just kind of finish the race. No reason to challenge too hard this early on.
Clearly the mover of the race, Justin Weaver. All right, Justin, the next one to get to, Brian Carey. It's about 3.5 seconds. I think I can leave Justin Weaver a little bit now. 3.5 seconds is going to take him a little bit of time to get to Carey.
And Dan Guerin has gone a lap down. So he was first car lap down. So tough first race for him.
Want to know where your fellow driver is, where your favorite driver is? Well, just look over there in our tower now. Top 15 shown for you, and then the bottom scroll. We look at Samuel Ryman. Now under pressure from David Altman. Both Ryman and Altman were passed by Weaver, who's on his way up to greener pastures. Ryman up 2 spots, started in 11th. Altman up 4 spots, started in 14th. Well done.
Pretty quiet up front. Everybody's out kind of doing their thing, separated out. Connor Harrington's been able to pull a little bit of a gap on Tyler Groff. So,
let's go to 12th. Justin Kirby, as he falls down the order, he was being pressured by Larkamp. I've been watching it. Stefan put his nose in there, kind of bothered Kirby a little bit, and the next thing you know, Kirby was nosing it into the wall. Check it out. Kirby in front, Larkamp trailing.
Yeah, it's a really tough place to make that pass. As that tightens up really quickly there. So, might have caught Justin off guard and just kind of locked up the tires and went straight.
All right, we go back and look at 7th position. I told Justin Weaver it's going to take a while for him to make up the 3.5 seconds. He's not listening to me, as now he's on the back of Brian Carey. I tell you right now, Moby Dickies machine is doing some serious swimming.
Yeah,
All this
really struggling out there. Go ahead.
I was saying all this going on behind Adam Blocker is having no problem at all. Up by about 4.5 seconds on the lead. Well, you can see it right there on the tower. Oh my goodness, the guy in the technical department here at GSRC have made my life so much easier now.
Give a shout out to Brian Yaczik, done a good job, 9th to 6th. He's got a huge gap to 7th spot Brian Carey. He's got 8 seconds. So those top 6 cars have all kind of pulled away, and everybody's just minding their P's and Q's at the moment. Justin Weaver closing in on the back of Brian Carey, so he's been on a charge here. He must have been pretty disappointed with that qualifying because he's moved up from 15th to 8th so far.
Beautiful day to go racing. Are we able to bring up the weather real quick? We didn't talk about it in the pre-race show because we had so much to do. There, we take a look at it. Track temp only 85 degrees, not so bad. A little bit of humidity here in Detroit.
No, that's perfect track temp, and you can see it's mostly cloudy. So once in a while we get those cloud covers coming over. They'll cool that track even more, and that's what these cars like, is those cool conditions.
Talk about it. We'll go check in on 13th position as they race beneath the cloud right now. John Hill up 3 spots to race in this Baker's Dozen spot, but the real mover is Chris Stouffer.
Yeah, Christopher up from 21st to 14th, and he is trying to take over that 13th spot from John Hill. So John's got his hands full trying to hold him off. They also right behind him, Chris Ladini's starting to creep up onto that pack as well.
We've been jumping it around for a while, so let's stay here and watch a little racing as we watch the number 7, see what he can do with the number 84.
That's that long straightaway. This is obviously the best place to make a pass. You can get a pretty good run there and a pretty straightforward braking zone as well. But everywhere else, you got to kind of force the issue.
Stouffer sitting 18th in the points this season. Probably not having the best run he would like. Uh-oh. Ryman with an issue. And while that's going on, Brian Yaczik has had a spin as well. Oh, my goodness. This is serious. We'll see if we can find out who that is, as I haven't been able to call it up yet.
Ooh.
Oh,
yeah.
It was Ken Hacker. You know what? And he just pulled in front. It was
that's
pulled
real
in front of Ryman.
Real unfortunate. Ken spun out, and he probably should have checked his gaps a little bit better before he pulled out, because he pretty much just ruined Sam's race. He was doing a great job at that point. And as you see on board, everything's blind. He just comes around the corner. This does lead on the back straightaway, so you're hard on the gas right here, and then there's just nowhere for him to go.
Yeah. He let a couple guys go around, but when he did his donut, it was a donut right in front. Now we look at George Sandman. Now, little by little, though, the battle's cooled off a bit. Martinez has been running into the back, well, not literally, but has been right on the tail of Sandman. George opened it up a bit.
Yeah, I think they were going by Brandon Linkerman, going by to lap him, and everything's got kind of tight, but George is able to put the power down and gap him back and gap Martinez back out.
Now, I want to take a quick check here. If I've done my timing and scoring right, I think Brian Yaczik was ahead. No, I guess not. I saw Brian with a little spin, but I guess he's recovered. I guess he did not lose a position. He continues to race in 6th.
Justin Weaver.
Walker, Harrington, Graff, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Justin Weaver's slowly creeping in on Brian Carey. He's not quite close enough yet, but he's kind of getting a little bit creeping up there each corner, as you can see on screen there. So he's going to make a move soon, but he's not quite close enough. But that's probably the closest battle we have right now in that top 10.
Weaver really putting on the show. That's what I said earlier, and the next thing I know, he's going past Sam Ryman before I could even call it. Justin Weaver having a good run. Qualified poorly in 15th. Good news for all the drivers who are out. There's another race in just a few. So how far are we actually going? Well, let's bring up our race analysis so you can see how this works. 34 laps today. This is a one-stopper. They can go about 18, 17 to 18. So it's a real tiny window, and then you can see those incident points. Blinking away is Kerry. We're hoping that he comes back. Kerry was racing in 7th. He's still gone.
He hit the wall, too. He hit the wall coming onto the front straightaway. And
yeah, I doubt him. We gotta be able to look at it.
But he just pancaked the wall, and he's now in the pit lane.
There he is, and for me, he blinks away. Now he's the lead car with Weaver right behind him. He blinks away, and Richie was able to see him pancake the wall. So yes, I think that's a hard. There he is.
Right as he comes out of here, he's going to get wide, and he just pancakes the wall, and then that just destroys the right side of the car.
That's iRacing's form of a mechanical issue. So everyone picks up another spot. Weaver now moves up into 7th. There's our leader, Adam Blocker. That car right behind him, George Anzaldo. First car 1 lap down. Well, maybe not. It's maybe... Yeah, I believe so. Nick. It's a nice little battle here in 11th position. We haven't given these guys much attention. John Hill, Chris Stouffer.
Yeah, that battle was a little closer when we watched it earlier. So John Hill's able to string a couple of laps together to gap him out, but Christopher continues to push him. He started 21st up to 12th, so nicely done so far for Chris. And you see on board here, as they go through this area, it's super narrow, and that curb on the left there, I mean, if you hit it a little bit, you're right to the outside wall, and then they go over this corner right here. There's a drainage grate right there on the inside line, so when you go over it, that right front tire just kind of hangs in the air. We're just working on 3 tires for a moment.
Take a second to look at the car right behind these guys. Chris Lanini racing in 13th spot. And then about another 6 seconds too far back to even see is Bob Mikas in the Von Hansen's meat machine. Since 1983, Von Hansen's has delivered personalized full service in a friendly, old-fashioned meat market environment. They offer a large and ever-expanding selection of meat products and menu ideas ranging from the casual gathering to the social occasions. For more information, please visit vonhansens.com. While I was reading that plug, I heard a crash somewhere, and I believe it was Joe Branch. He bounced it off the inside curve and then bounced it over into the outside.
Yeah, nowhere to make a mistake. So, he comes around, and he's going to hit the curb, and fortunately that sends him to the outside, which, pretty much ends his day.
Joe
Boom, big hit there.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at that. Big hit.
Hey, we saw this battle with Martinez pestering George Sandman. Well, he finally gets him. Martinez now up into 4th. We'll take a look at it. Right on board with the drone cam. Now they come at you. That's Martinez in the blue car. Sandman ahead in the white car. Yep. Oh, and the lap traffic played a factor, and that opened the door.
Yeah. Sandman caught him in the wrong spot, had to really get off the gas, and this is all flat out all through here, so he just lost his momentum and opened the door for Damon.
Pit stop should be coming up anytime as they are working lap number 17. Leader of all the cars that have pitted, Brian Yaczik. But they should all be coming in any moment. Chris Lanini loops it around right in front of Brian Yaczik, the leader of the cars who've pitted. Yaczik goes around him. You know what? When Lanini, stay on this. When Lanini comes out, stay on this a minute. This is Bob Mikas that he kind of forces into the wall. Stay on here for a minute. He starts to go forward. Oh, and Mikas has already gone by. But unfortunately, scared Bobby into the wall. Tyler Groff made his pit stop, as has George Sandman. Groff, the leader of all the cars who have pitted. Oh, Connor Harrington overshoots his braking point. Now, did he nose it in? I don't think so. I think he got a woed up. Oh,
No.
nope, he did not.
He nosed it in. He got some damage on that left front wing, and he hasn't made his pit stop yet, so this could work out just fine. If he comes in, they can change that front wing. It just takes a little longer, but he's going to be able to continue
Unfortunately, on his way to pit lane with no downforce up front, he should have listened to Professor Lugnut. He would have known he didn't have any downforce. Connor Harrington smashed it in the wall again. His day is done.
Yeah, he did. He just, just came in a little hot. And right now, Adam Blocker's in the pits and exiting.
This is a word to the wise to the drivers. Forget about qualifying. Just throw away qualifying. Listen to Professor Lugnut's setup corner. It'll help you long run.
And Adam Blocker comes in and out. No problem staying out in front. He's now got 14-second gap to second place, who is Damon Martinez. He has not pitted yet, I believe, right? He has not pitted?
Everybody is in. Everybody's in.
He has pitted. Okay, so Damon Martinez is now, in second place.
Yep.
Nice job to him. Oh, he's in third place.
Yep. Tyler Graff able to get up in there.
I'll copy that. Yeah.
Tyler having a great run.
Yeah. Nice job to him and Martinez too. I mean, they both have done well, and George Sandman has done well. He had that trouble with lap traffic. He was in front of Damon, but he's in fourth spot at the moment.
Ron Hacker, the last of our cars to leave pit lane. He's in there for 17, 18 seconds, and now it begins to roll. And that completes our cycle. And when it's all said and done, I believe we're going to have 13 cars on the lead lap. And we only have 20 that are racing still. Scotty Johnson being the last one of those.
Yeah, we started out in a pretty big field, whittled it down pretty quickly. Everything's spread out now. So unless you make your own mistake, you should be able to get a good finish.
So with about 13 laps to go, let's go ahead and run through the field real quick, show you how this is all working. Adam Blocker, he's been out in front the entire time. He has a 10-second lead over Tyler Graff. Graff surprisingly qualified in fourth. And right now, let's stay on Tyler here for a minute. He has to negotiate some lap traffic. That's James Brandt to get around, and then Big Joe Hassard. He makes quick work of Brandt. And Big Joe will get out of the way for him. Let's assume that goes okay. Graff sitting in second. He can't lollygag too much because the guy right behind him, Damon Martinez. Martinez gets around Brandt as well. Uh-oh. And that was Big Joe trying to get out of the way of Graff. He ends up in the tires, but everything's okay. Back in fourth position, George Sandman. George losing ground to Martinez. Good news is he has about 7-second cushion on Brian Yaczik. This is the last one. Outtake. Richie is Brian qualified in ninth, up 4 spots, racing in fifth. Got to be careful though, because the guy that we've been talking about is on the march. Driver in sixth, Richie.
Yeah, Justin Weaver's done a great job. Started 15th all the way up to 6th. He's made some of those passes on merit. Obviously, some people have had mistakes, but he's doing a great job. David Altman as well started outside the top 10 and 14th up to 7th. Brian Beard doing a good job. Some of this just stay out of the way, and just do your thing. He's in line for a top 8 finish as he's run 8th. Stefan Larkamp doing a good job as well. 7th. All these guys started way back in the field, but have moved up into the top 10. And then we got John Hill running that sim pit car and started 16th, running the top 10 as well, 10th place. All these guys doing a nice job, staying clean. This is not an easy track, so just because you're running by yourself doesn't mean you're not working hard.
I'm going to take you one last car, go to 11th. I believe this is the last car on the lead lap, Christopher. Nice hard charger for him, up 10 positions. But he can't slow down too much because it won't be long until he's lapped here. As Adam Blocker's got about maybe 15 seconds before he gets there. 11 cars on the lead lap. 20 still racing.
Yeah, Adam Blocker's 10 seconds up on Tyler Graff, but we do have a potential battle brewing here as Tyler Graff is in second, but Damon Martinez is right on his heels. He's less than a second behind, and not that far behind. I mean, it does say 3 seconds, but George Salmon's in the hunt for that final podium position if these guys mess up somewhere.
Well, this will be fun as they have lap traffic coming up. Look at Ron Hacker get out of the way, letting the guys go by. Bob Mikas racing at 12th. They're coming up on you next. That's an actual battle for position there between Mikas and Hacker.
Yeah, and they're
both those drivers 1 lap down.
I was going to say they're catching up to them in a really tough spot. There's really nowhere for these guys to kind of get out of the way without giving up too much. And he does get out of the way for Groff there, but they're racing their own race as well, so they have just as much right to the track as everybody else.
He lets Groff by. Now it's Martinez's turn. Said, "Can I please come by through?" Yes, you can. So that's settled down. So how does that play out for? What does that mean for Mikas? Well, Mikas still has about a 1.5 second lead over Hacker for 12th.
Ryan Yaczik setting a quick lap out there. 14-0, so nicely done. He's obviously feeling the groove now. He is stuck back there in 5th spot, kind of in no man's land. But he's starting to put the car together, or put the lines together, and maybe feeling good for the second race.
Yaczik had the car sideways once for a brief moment earlier on, but didn't seem to bother him too much. He's all by himself right now, 5 seconds behind Sandman and about 2.5 seconds on Justin Weaver, although Weaver continues to impress. So with still 10 laps to go, I would not put that Moby Dickey's machine out of the hunt for a top 5 spot.
The biggest battle right now is going to be for that second spot as we get closer to the end with 9 laps to go. Tyler Groff and Damon Martinez. Now he's down to 0.7 of a second behind him, so he's getting close enough now where he's going to start picking up the draft if there's any down this long straightaway that they're going now.
They head down now into 3. This 90-degree right-hander really feels like corner number 1 on most tracks, but indeed the start-finish line is a couple corners earlier. Look at Martinez close. Now the 90-degree left-hander, that is 5. Go ahead.
He's really closing in on him on the under braking there, and he's gonna take a stab at this at some point. I believe he's not just gonna catch up to him and sit there. He's gonna try to make a move. Here he comes.
Now he's gonna force. Oh boy, I couldn't tell. I thought he was gonna wait, then he waited. He's gonna lose a little bit of time there. I think the indecision cost him a bit as they work through the technical section here, the fountain section, and they move to the intersection of the track. They come out of here heading towards 12.
Ooh. And Damon got really loose coming off that corner, trying to put the power down. He didn't lose much, but he is definitely trying.
Adam Blocker turns in the fast lap, saving it to the latter part of the race.
Yeah, he must have heard us talking about Brian Yaczik, and he decided, I'm going to do that one better.
Still about 10 seconds ahead of that close battle we were watching there between Groff and Martinez.
Sandman's starting to drop off from this battle a little bit, so he's no longer in play unless these two come into contact with something. So he's looking for a nice solid 4th spot as Brian Yaczik's a little too far away. He's almost the whole back straightaway away, so no pressure from him. Man, Martinez is right on the back of Groff at the moment.
I'll tell you what,
right up to him.
Martinez is really good on the backstretch going into corner 7 right before the Bowden section. If he can just get a little bit of a drive out of 6, he'll be able to make that pass. He has tested it a couple of times. They got a long way to go. They head across the start-finish line. They go to 1, this right-left combination.
Yeah, he needed a good drive right here over this left-handers. They're heading there right now. They do have a little traffic coming up in front of them. But Tyler Groff is going to work very hard to keep that 2nd spot.
That's Paul Jenkins. Now he closes it behind him again. Now there's no opportunity to pass here, but if Martinez can stay close, it's all about not this left-hander. It's all, oh my goodness! Well, he'll have to wait.
Yeah, it looked like Tyler Groff, he slowed down more than Damon realized, and he had to really stab at that brake pedal to keep from hitting him.
As there are 7 to go, he'll have 6 more bites of the apple, which I think his best passing opportunity is corner 7. We'll check back in on this one when he gets a little bit closer. Brian Yaczik has nothing to worry about from Justin Weaver as Yaczik picked up the pace. Little bit of a battle back here now. Altman is in 7th. Beard is in 8th. And Larkamp is in 9th. These guys are all separated by... Well, Altman's got about 3 seconds back to Beard. Larkamp has a shot maybe to get to Beard. Those drivers racing on the lead lap. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, give a shout out to Dan Guerin for sticking in with it. He's 2 laps down, but he's going to be 18th at the moment. So it's all about the championship. So you can't give up sometimes. That might make the difference.
Let's take a look at Dan Guerin. He is our profile driver. When we bring that up, one thing that is of interest is to know the percentage. Notice the percentage between top 5s and top 10s. That's something I use as a commentator to get a feel for what a driver is like. If you see where top 5s and top 10s are close together like that, you realize that the guy is quick. And if he doesn't get himself a top 5, usually he's had issues. Look at that there. 26 poles, 14 wins. Oh no! The curse of the spotlight. Very nice, though. He did a nice job. He didn't hit anything.
Yeah, fortunately, he was in no man's land there, so he's probably going to hold on to that 18th spot.
Yeah. As we take a quick look for P8 here, Larkamp is now around. Yes, sure enough, Beard must have made a mistake.
Yeah, he's got some heavy damage, so the whole rear engine cover is off and the rear wing's busted up, so he must have made a mistake.
There it is. Boink. Probably be able, and then he backs it up into the wall as he tries to leave, so he
that was the damage right there.
Yeah. Boy, and the car is really bad. He's not going to be able to limp that around. So, that's why Dan Guerin's out there. Another spot to pick up. The battle for second is not really heating up, so let's look at the 12th place battle. This is Micus and Brandt. Here comes Weaver to lap them all. We saw this battle earlier. They got out of the way for letting faster cars go by. I think Micus might have just glanced it off the wall there. We look at Altman now with an issue. See, our director maybe has found it. I have not. Well, there you go. Altman was
straight on right there. Didn't hit anything, but had to back up to keep going.
not sure he lost a position. Well, no, I think he did lose one to Weaver. He did indeed, and to Larkamp as well.
Yeah, but still puts him in 8th spot, so starting 14 to 8th is not terrible. We now have 9 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, Blocker.
Yeah, he's been unstoppable. I was just going to say he's been unstoppable, just kind of running those low 114s consistently. He's opened up a 12-second gap on second place, so he's really hooked up here.
Blocker.
That battle for second has faded as Tyler Graff. I don't know if Damon made a mistake or he's used up his tires, but Tyler's now opened up about 2.5-second gap on him.
John Hill and Christopher each a lap down. Martinez had a bad lap last time around.
Yeah, he was over a second, almost a second and a half slower than Tyler on that last lap.
So now there are 8 cars on the lead lap. The last one being David Altman that we just saw have an issue. I think he's going to be able to hang on. I don't know if Blocker's going to be able to get to him with only 3 laps to go. Well, if you're a driver that had issues, you feel good, you get another shot at it. But you can't feel too good about what Adam Blocker is able to do. He looks really strong. Very impressive run from Tyler Graff.
Yeah, Adam Blocker has been strong, and some of his big competitors in the points have struggled, including Dan Guerin, who was second in the points, I believe, so he's going to take a little bit of a hit here. But he did struggle or carry on. He's sitting in 17th at the moment.
My gut tells me that when they do qualifying for the second race, Justin Weaver is not going to be in 5th. That car looked really good. He climbs up 9 positions, many of them passes made on the tarmac.
Yeah, his best lap has been a 1:14.5, and that's only a half a second off of what Adam's done. So he has a fast car. So he obviously made some mistakes in qualifying. He's had to earn his way back up there.
Another fast car is Brian Yaczik, who qualified 9th. He had a 1:14 flat. That's right there next to what Blocker can do. Just had to start too far back. 9th position at this track is, well, it's not the kiss of death, but it's a serious, passionate hug.
Final lap here.
Blocker already through 1, 2, and 3, heading into 4 and 5. He has no lap track in front of him. It really has been the Adam Blocker show. Your points leader going to pick up some more. Increase the gap to the rest of the field. Coming down into 7th. No real battles on the track anywhere. Everyone just running out the string right now. Through the Fountain sections, we ride on board with Blocker. Two more right-handers to go, 12 and 13. There's 12. There's 13. 14 isn't much of a corner. The flag man picks up the gingham flag, starts waving it. Round number 7 of the Lionheart IndyCar Series goes to Adam Blocker. Tyler Graff will get second. And here he comes. Right behind him, Damon Martinez. We'll call all the cars on the lead lap here. George Sandman comes across in 4th. Brian Yaczik is going to get that 5th spot. Justin Weaver up 9 positions for 6th. 3 cars back in the Fountain section right now. Stephen Larkamp, Actually, 2. David Altman, the last 2 cars on your lead lap. Another good drive from Stephen Larkamp as he goes up 10 spots to finish in 7th. And as David Altman comes across, we'll bring up the rest of the grid for you and call those drivers that race has already finished. David Altman, the last car on the lead lap, gets 8th. Now the racing is over here for the drivers racing for real. Now you have John Hill and Chris Stouffer down in 9th and 10th. And then, Richie, let's talk about the next set of 10.
Next set of 10 is going to be Bob Mikus in 11th, James Branch in 12th, Ron Hacker in 13th. These guys all a lap down. Brandon Linkerman in 14th. 2 laps down be George Anzaldo, Big Joe Hassert in 16th. Dan Guerin struggling but finishing out in 17th. Paul Jenkins 18th. 6 laps down, Brian Beard. 11 laps down, Scotty Johnson in 20th.
Trouble for all the remainder of these guys. Connor Harrington, Chris Lanini, Joe Branch, Brian Carey, Scott Bolster, Sam Ryman in 26th spot, Ron Hacker, Isaiah Cousin Dupree in 28th, Justin Kirby, Joe Cannigan Flanagan could not Cannigan today as he finishes in 30th. Richie?
Yep, Andrew Kinsella, not too happy, I'm sure, with 31st. Michael Goodman, 32nd. Mike Rigney, 33rd. Tony Shallon, 34th. Dustin Wardlow, 35th. Brian Greenlee, 36th. Bart Workman did not start in 37th. All these guys getting caught up in early wrecks.
All right, you may be thinking that we're going to take a break and then come back for the Plasma Tracks Victory Lane post-race show, but you'd be wrong because there is yet another event to cover. So we're going to take a short break, come back and watch qualifying for round number 2 of the Loud Pedal Motorsports Duel at Detroit. Back in a few.
The Sim Pit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The Sim Pit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for The Sim Pit.
Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. Sponsored by First Medical Equipment, it is the Lionheart IndyCar Series at Belle Isle. The Loud Pedal Motorsports Duel in Detroit. Round number 6. The results are done, and now we go on to the second part of our doubleheader, round number 7. The drivers are warming up right now. Qualifying will start in just 60 seconds. And we'll do it one more time. Richie, attrition huge in that very first race.
Yeah, definitely. And not surprising, but we did see some major players in the points taking a points hit there, with Dan Guerin getting in a couple wrecks, but soldiering on to, I believe, a 17th spot. Adam Blocker just blew everybody away. He just did his thing and took off. And Andrew Kinsella also got caught up in some wrecks early on. So hopefully these guys probably looking for a little redemption.
We have news to report that despite him racing in the real world Indy 500, and what is today, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days away, Sage Karam is going to race with us right now.
Yeah, he's out there.
Practice time?
Putting laps in. He's sitting 10th on practice right now. So he's going to get at least one race in here. He should be a player in this, since he currently pilots these cars for real, so he's always fast.
Disappointing runs the first round from Dan Guerin. Had trouble early. The Candyman, Dustin Wardlow, also ran into trouble early. Not a very good qualifying run from Dustin Wardlow. He had to work really hard to get his 6th place finish. Very impressive run from Tyler Groff, though, with that runner-up spot.
Yeah, he had some good cars there at the end that finished high up that didn't qualify well. So, look for some stuff from like Brian Yaczik, Justin Weaver. Those guys were quick. And so hopefully maybe they'll see them qualify a little higher and be a little closer to the front as qualifying is underway.
Eamon Martinez got the best of George Sandman, even though Sandman qualified in front of him. Now they start to roll. Everybody on their out lap.
They do get 4 laps here to get their time in, but if they hit something and they have to go back to the pit lane, that's going to eliminate one of those laps. So it's important to try to get, when I do these type of sessions, try to do at least one, kind of conservative banker lap, and then make sure you then go out and try to put in a really good lap. So at least you got something to kind of lean on.
Brian Yaczik out in front. First car to get out of pit lane. Doesn't want anybody in front of him. working on to Sunset Drive. And of course it is lone qualifying, so it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, they're all on the track by themselves, so all the condition is the same for everybody. No traffic to worry about.
Well, we can simply say Brian Yaczik was the most excited to start his qualifying, as he's going to be able to post. He'll be on the pole, I can tell you that much, as you'll see it come up.
Yeah,
It's always looking for attention that way. Yeah, the provisional pole sitter.
Put in the time, yeah.
Disappointing runs from qualifying runs from Dustin Wardlow. See if he does better on that one. I'm sorry, Dustin Weaver.
On screen, we see Andrew Kinsella out there looking to finish his first time lap. About halfway through that lap at the moment. Going around that fountain section as they do that. You see Brian Greenlee, they kind of head on back and kind of parallel the river and then go through those two fast right-handers, leads on to the front stretch.
And there's your time, as you saw Brian Yaczik, our provisional pole sitter. Nope. It's going to be Dan Guerin, I think.
Nope. Connor Harrington is taking that spot with a 13.7. So time's starting to fall as people are completing their first laps.
Harrington was second in qualifying in the round 6 heat. George Sandman up into second. Let's put the camera on Sage Karam. I watched all the qualifying at Indianapolis this season, waiting for my soup shout out. I didn't get one.
Yeah, I think he had other things on his mind.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if, like, missing that first race, you know, he's going to go into this with a little bit more unknown than these other drivers as far as how the tires wear and everything. Connor Harrington still sitting up top there with George Salmon in second. Oop, Damon Martinez. Ooh, Tyler Graff now up to second. Martinez in third, pushing Sandman down to fourth. Sage Karam has put in 14.3, put him in a sixth so far.
All you Adam Blocker fans, he's out on the track. Yet to put in a time. Brandon Lipkeman, we're waiting for a time from him. Other drivers, Prix, Goodman, lots of drivers yet to put in their spot yet. Dustin Wardlow about ready to put in a time, coming across the line. And maybe that was his warm. There we go. Wardlow finds himself in 14th.
Been watching a little bit of Connor Harrington on his second lap here. He's been sliding the car around. I think he clipped the wall a little bit, so I don't think this lap is going to really matter. Looks like he's slowing down to try to take a flyer on this next one.
Interesting to see the similar names that we saw up there. There's Adam Blocker. Hello.
Yeah, Adam Blocker is at 13.6. About a tenth of a second, about half a tenth of a second ahead of Connor Harrington at the moment. Connor Harrington has started his, I believe, his fourth lap, so he'll get one more shot at it. See on screen, Connor going through that section, turns 3, 4, 5, 6, all just kind of consistent right-handers, left-handers, all 90-degree corners. Up, and he clipped the wall again. And yeah, well, it looked like he might have brushed the wall. Not hard enough to wreck the car, but he might have brushed the wall enough to get a 0x. We'll see. He keeps going. We'll see if he gets a time here.
Connor Harrington, another one of the drivers that fell victim to attrition in that last round.
Dan Guerin has done a good job putting himself up into third. Knocking Martinez down to fourth. Tyler Kraft, George Salmon is all the way down to seventh at the moment.
Paul Jenkins spun the car trying to put in a time. Go ahead, Richie.
I was going to say, and Connor Harrington comes across. He did get that lap time, but it does not improve his spot.
29 drivers have put in time.
Everybody's starting to get to their last. Oh, Sage Karam spins out on his fourth lap. So his qualifying session is done.
We look at Tyler Graff.
Yeah, he's actually got one more lap too, I think. This is lap 3, so he's going to get one more shot at it.
Dan Guerin posts the time kind of late. Squirts up into third spot.
So Tyler Graff starting his last lap. Must have clipped the wall or something, so he didn't get a lap time on that lap, on that third one, but this is his final lap.
Big name driver that will not get a time, Michael Goodman. Looks like he's not going to be able to put in a time. He'll be starting way at the back. Chris Lanini has yet to put in a time. Mike Rigney.
Adam Blocker's on his final lap. He's sitting on top of the timesheets, but he's going to have one more chance to better that. I think out of all the guys up front, I think only Tyler Graff and Adam have laps left.
Whoa! That one, well, he'll have to settle for what he's done so far. It's the Loud Pedal Motorsports Duel at Detroit.
And Tyler Graff does not improve. Adam Blocker coming to the end of his final lap here. And it looks like he must have bumped the wall or something because that time did not register.
1:13.6 is what he was able to put in. Isaiah Dupree trying to get in a time. George Anzaldo.
Yeah, George needs a little bit of help here.
There's a little bit.
He's sitting in 28th spot, so he's got one more lap to improve that time. He's sitting in 29th spot, sorry.
Well, he was in 28th, and then he got bumped down there. Isaiah Dupree trying to come across with the line. What's the time? Not going to get anything. Going to remain in 21st position.
Oh, looks like time expired.
That'll do it. So for the second time tonight, let's go to the grid. Well, this looks familiar. These were the same two drivers who sat on the front row last time, Adam Blocker and Connor Harrington. Row 2 is Dan Guerin and Justin Weaver. Damon Martinez and Tyler Graff go 5th and 6th. Brian Carey is going to be inside of George Sandman. That 5th row, Sage Karam and Stefan Larkamp. Richie?
Yep, starting in 11th, this is going to be David Altman. Right next to him, Justin Wardlow in 12th. Brian Yaczik, 13th. Probably looking for a little bit more than that, considering how fast he was in the race. Right next to him, Samuel Ryman, hoping for a little better luck. Andrew Kinsella, surprisingly, down into 15th spot. Brian Beard, 16th. Justin Kirby, 17th. John Hill, 18th. Christopher, 19th. And Bob Mikas in 20th.
Hidden Blackjack. It's Isaiah Dupree, Bart Workman in the double duck spot. Ron Hacker and Paul Jenkins go 23rd and 24th. Joe Branch and Brian It's Not Easy Being Greenlee in the 26th position. Brandon Lincoln and Scotty Johnson fill up the next row. 29th and 30th, George Anzaldo and Scott Polster. Richie?
31st is going to be Big Joe Hassert. 32nd, Michael Goodman. None of these gentlemen put in a time. 33rd, Tony Schoen. James Branch, 34th. Chris Lanini, 35th. Mike Rigney, 36th. Ken Hacker, 37th. And David Cordy, although I don't think he's racing, is in 38th.
And there is your entire grid. They line up. They do have new onboard cameras for us for this set. Oh, we'll be showing you those in just a minute. Brian, it's not easy being Greenlee in the Loud Pedal Motorsports car, sporting a pair of teams this season. Thumbs up and cancer down. Bob Mikas has the Sam Maxwell Customs onboard camera. Custom steering wheels for the serious sim racer enthusiast. Check him out at sammaxwellcustoms.com. And then it is Dandy Dan Guerin in the number 8, the Sim Experience onboard camera. For more information on the entire Sim Experience products, go to simexperience.com. With all that business out of the way, it's time to go racing. For the second time today, round number 6 is in the books. Round number 7 about to begin. Competition, excitement, competition and excitement, and whatever else is involved. This is Lionheart. Adam Blocker leads the Stampede down into the first corner. Commitment is the other thing you need. Hey, look at this. There's a pass for the lead.
Connor Harrington, we've got a big wreck in the middle of the pack, but Connor Harrington's trying to take a pass.
Oh, yeah. We have a full course caution on a road course. This is rare. You saw it too. Connie Harrington was peeking his nose inside a blocker. Now, why are we stopped? I guess it involves Ron Hacker. Oh, it's Brian Yaczik. Oh, it's up front. Oh,
yeah,
my goodness.
We got a bunch of cars involved in that. That's why they threw the yellow. The track is going to be blocked. And it looks like Yaczik just loses on his own. Same thing we saw the last race. Can't remember who it was, but lost it on cold tires over that hill. And he's going to collect a couple other drivers.
So we ride on board.
Yaczik lose. I was going to say he loses it early, and then he goes over the hill and just kind of takes slaps. And the way he's facing, kind of everybody scatters and causes some more demolition derby type driving.
You just got a ward around Wardlow, and then we'll take a look at Greenlee. Justin Kirby involved in this one as he tried to go around. Greenlee got into him. And that's what Bob Mikas involved in it as well.
So we will re-rack them and try this again. It will be a single file restart.
It's going to be a few less balls in the rack, though, as a lot of drivers are going to head to the pockets. Their night is done. Blocker, Harrington, Guerin, Weaver, and Martinez, your top 5. Right when the yellow came out, it was really interesting. Harrington was making a serious attack on Blocker. Graff, Sandman, Carey, Karam, and Larkamp, the back half of your top 10. Which you can see on our new tower right there.
So it looks like we got Justin Kirby is out. Ron Hacker is out. Brian Greenlee is out. Brian Yaczik is driving around with no front wing and no shock cover, so he's not out, but he's going to try to get back and get some fixing done on that car. The yellow flag's definitely going to help him, because he can stay on the lead lap, and if they can fix that car, he'll be able to get going again and at least try to get as many points as possible.
Lights are on the pace car, so unless they can do something special, I think we're going to be going around one more time. Look for any movers that might have happened here. Everyone's pretty much where they started. Couple positions for Brian Beard. 6 spots for Joe Branch. Likewise for Brandon Limkeman, up 6. So what this might do is open up the pit window a little bit wider. It was going to be right around lap 17 or 18. They might be able to extend it maybe to lap 19 now if they care to. Now we see who suffered some damage. Kinsella, Big Joe coming in. Kinsella maybe didn't pick up damage. Maybe he's just going to come in and, I guess, top off, go a little bit farther.
Yeah, it's interesting because track position is obviously everything here. So I don't think he's going to have to pit
I
again.
can imagine why, yeah.
So I don't know if he can his next pit stop. You know, I don't. Yeah, I mean, maybe something was going on, or he hit somebody. He had to fix something. I don't know, but Ryan Yaczik is coming back out with a clean car, so he did get everything fixed. So he's going to be back in the game, although he's going to be in the back right now, sitting in 33rd spot.
Drivers who did come in: Christopher, Big Joe Hazard, Andrew Kinsella, Isaiah Dupree, Brian Yaczik, and Bob Mikas.
Well, it should be interesting with a single file restart. We did see Connor Harrington really try to make a move on Adam. I think he knows if he doesn't get in front of him early, Adam's going to take off.
Let's take a peek at Brian Yaczik's car, see how it looks. Number 55 looks pretty good. Looks like all the parts are there for the HPP simulation logos. Certainly looks better than it did before he came in for a pit stop. All right, pace car working down into the technical section now. 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11.
All right, let's try to get a clean start and get this thing moving.
Weather is exactly the same as it was last time. Does not change. Track temperature a little warmer, but that really depends on the clouds that might be passing overhead when we bring it up. Adam Blocker coming off a win in round 6, looking for another one right now in round 7. Pace car will be pulling in. They'll be turning over control to Blocker. Harrington was very aggressive last time out. Watch out for Connor. See if he can snake the lead. Pace car is in. We're going racing one more time. Blocker into 1 and into 2. Harrington, nothing for him. Coming up, though, now only a half car length back. The defensive line from Blocker. He pulls to the outside. They are too wide through that corner.
That's the same move he tried to make before. We do have 2 guys back there at about 5th spot going 2x2. Looks like they all made it, but yeah, Connor Harrington's really attacking Adam at the moment. Like I said, I think he really knows that if he's going to have a chance to win, he's got to make this happen right now. But Adam really gets a good run onto that back stretch and kind of gaps.
Sure does.
That's going to leave Connor Harrington open to Dan Guerin making a move. And right behind them, Justin Weaver and Damon Martinez all stacking up for that second position.
Blocker trying to win away. Harrington trying to stay close. Guerin, Weaver, and Martinez right there. Then there's a large gap. Back to Graff, who's holding up Sandman, Karam, and Carey. Also in the mix, Larkamp. It's a long train. Altman and Wardlow.
Yeah, just to point out, Sage Karam to get around Brian Carey and he is right on the back of George Salmon. So Sage trying to do everything he can to get up front. He's got to get some points since he missed that first race.
Up front, the lead continues to be close.
Yeah, Connor Harrington's be able to close back up. And he is right there, man. He is really good on the brakes. I don't know if he made some adjustments, but Adam's not pulling away like he did the last time.
Passing zone coming up here after this right-hander.
This is the last time. This is where Adam got a really good run. Ooh,
oh, no!
Connor!
There goes one
Doesn't
spot.
hit anything.
There goes 2 spots. And is he going to stay ahead of Graf? I think he will. He loses spots to Guerin and Weaver.
Somebody else was spun there too, but yeah, Martinez spun out as well. But on board Harrington, you can see he's really trying to get a run on this corner, and it's just bumpy enough to where you get on the gas, it just kind of steps out from you. He didn't hit anything, but he's going to lose some spots. But Damon Martinez won't be one of them as he spun out himself. He's got some damage as well.
Yeah, Martinez's was much more serious as he came around. He was right behind Weaver at the time. He puts it in the wall. His day may be over.
He'll have enough time. He can get in and they can fix that front wing as long as it's driving straight. But he's going to not, he's not going to replicate that third place finish. I'm looking at Justin Weaver. He's got some front end damage too. So I don't know if he caught the back of him or what. Looks like he's got some damage on his, well, maybe not. Everything looks clean.
He is being pestered by Connor Harrington, who would like those spots back. Again, that's been Connor Harrington's kind of modus operandi. Always quick, but not immune to making the mistake. Dan Guerin's got to be feeling good in second after a bad first round.
Yeah, no, he's doing well. That first race didn't go very well, but he did hang in there. But Justin Weaver's got a bunch of Connor Harrington behind him. He's trying to get back up into second position after his kind of half spin there. Tyler Graf doing a good job in 5th spot, kind of by himself. He's got a gap to George Salmon, who's got a hungry Sage Karam right behind him. And Adam Blocker's starting to gap the field once again. He's got almost 2 seconds on Dan Guerin. And he might be going back to back. He's got that number 1 on the car for a reason.
Familiar blue colors of Adam Blocker out in front. You can barely see Guerin getting into the frame before Blocker drives away.
Yeah, Darren just needs to run a clean race. He's fast enough to finish in this position, but he's just got to run a clean race because in the first race, all his incidences were basically self-imposed, and so he really needs those points.
The battle for third, pretty intense. Weaver, Harrington back. Here comes Harrington with a run.
Wow.
He's going to poke himself in there. My gosh.
I don't know if he got in the back. Did he get in the back of him and push him out of the way?
Let's find out, our director says. We'll ride on board with Connor and take a listen. It's with Weaver.
Yeah, it looked like he almost got in the back and just kind of pushed him out of the way. And that's one way to do it, give him the chrome horn. I'm sure Justin's not happy about that, but I'm sure he didn't do it on purpose, just tight quarters.
Nevertheless, Weaver having a good run in 4th, not having to work quite as hard as he did the first round. Harrington now back up to 3rd after his mistake. If he can get Guerin, who's racing in 2nd, he'll be right back where he was before he made that mistake. Looking back at 10th position. In fact, here comes the pass right now. Whoop, nope, I'm sorry. Wardlow ahead of Altman. Watching the whole thing, Samuel Ryman back in 12th.
Yeah, Samuel Ryman was having a really good run last time and kind of got caught up in an unfortunate error by somebody and took him out. So he's probably looking to have a clean race here. Dustin's got his hands full, trying to hold back David Altman. Oh, Brian Carey. He's got some damage on his front wing, and he's coming into the pit lane. So he's clipped the wall or something, and that's going to be the end of his day as well.
Got the inside curbing, and then he pancakes the left side.
Yeah, that's a really fast corner. It's like fourth gear, third or fourth gear, and there's no room for error. I mean, you kind of, shoot in the gap, and if you make any kind of mistake, it's just sending you right out. And it looks like he has exited the car.
So let's go back and look at Wardlow and Altman again. One of the best battles on the track. They now race for 9th position. Ryman watching on there. Altman, both these drivers racing about where they started.
Connor Harrington is closed up onto the back of Dan Guerin. So Dan was by himself in second for a little while, but Connor's got a fast car, made that small mistake, and looking to get back at least the second place that he was in before. Sandman's been able to gap stage care him a little bit too. Sorry.
Yep. Here comes Harrington. Did not take him long to get there.
No, he pushed Justin out of the way. I'm coming through. I got to get back and take that second spot back is what he's thinking. So he's got a fast car. Oh, he's going to go right by him. I think Dan, like I said, Dan had a pretty rough race that first one. I think he's just like, hey, do your thing. I'm going to do my thing and just try to maybe take a podium top 3 here.
Again, probably listening to the broadcast, and he knows that Justin Weaver got a nose full of Harrington last time. Maybe he said, I don't want that to happen to me, and he lets Harrington go by. So does Harrington have any chance to get the block? Or maybe it's only 2 seconds. Harrington seems to be really quick.
He seems to be a lot quicker this race than the last one. Justin Weaver's got a handful of Tyler Groff. Tyler's looking to have another good run on this race. He's in position to take that spot as they go through turns 1 and 2. As you can see on screen, they're going to lead onto the backstretch. This is the place where you can make that pass.
Groff looking for another podium finish if he could. He had that second place finish. Boy, he is all over the back of Weaver. Both of these guys had great rounds the last time out. Graff is really, really comfortable at this track.
Yeah, he's going to go right by.
Here he goes.
By Justin. They do have the push to pass to use. So they might be seeing a little bit of that happening right there. And you only have so much, so sometimes you don't know. It's better off maybe to save it for later.
Be fun if you could have carryover like your cell phone minutes, like from race to race. Didn't use them all the first race, come into the next race with a little extra? Probably not.
Just wait till the end and use the whole race to push to pass.
Well, that'd be awfully good at the last round, yeah.
Yeah, we're seeing a little bit cleaner race this time. I think getting that first race down, and we're not having so many people crash early on, so a little bit cleaner race, cleaner passes going on.
Round number 7, the Lionheart IndyCar Series. Loud Pedal Motorsports duel at Detroit. Oh, let's take a look at we got an issue here. Let's see if we can find Bob Mikas. This is a 3-car. This is a big one. It also involves James Brandt. I believe this just happened. Yep. This is kind of an accordion effect here. Stuff starts to happen in front of the meat machine, and the next thing you know, he's into it.
Yeah, and that's that spot I was talking about. There's no room at all, so he just clobbers the back of his tire and sends him off into the wall. That's a big group of cars we're watching right there on the replay.
We come back live. Nice little battle for 8th. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Connor has whittled this down to about 1.4 seconds, so he's definitely catching Adam, so we're going to have a race for the lead. And here's our lap comparison on screen. You can see how he's been closing in lap by lap. It's a nice little graphic we have for you.
I do like that one. Some of those earlier laps where he was in traffic, but once he cleared traffic, Harrington been able to do the job. Let's look at this battle for 8th position. This is Stefan Larkamp and Dustin Wardlow coming up trying to make a move. Wardlow, of course, racing in the Dwarfs Candy Machine. You know, if you're tired of that impersonal gift cards and you're looking for something truly unique, how about you try this lasting impression and use check out Dwarfs Candy. They got some chewy butter peanut filled taffy enjoyed by generations dating back to 1909. And they'll ship it to you all over the world. For more information, dwarfscandy.com. I'm going to be putting in my order. I like the peanut butter toffee. My wife, she likes the peppermint.
And as we're watching this battle, you might have seen up
Here
on.
you go.
Oh, we got. Yep. Stefan goes a little bit wide, and it's going to leave the door open for Dustin, but no pass made. But I was going to point out, you might have seen up on the screen there that Connor Harrington did put the fastest lap of the race in so far.
He's there now.
Yeah, he's only half a second behind, 0.4 of a second. So Adam's not having the easy race like he had last time. He's going to have to battle this one out.
He didn't have Harrington to deal with last time, as Harrington ran into problems early. Their qualifying times just 1/10 of a second faster by Blocker. Remember, Harrington is behind him, and that takes into account the spin. Now they come up on the back of Brandon Limpkeman. Limpkeman, the veteran, will be able to get that car out of the way. First opportunity.
And Dustin Wardlow has been able to get by.
We have that bookmark, but right now we'll stay on this. Poor Brandon has nowhere to put the car. He finally gets it out of the way, and that's going to give an opportunity to Harrington to make a run here, but he cannot get it done. Closing in. He will wait. Again,
Yeah, he is right there. Go ahead, Soup.
Well, we saw this earlier. He's really good out of 6. Oh, no, look at this. Oh, where's he going? Oh, a mistake, and Limpkeman goes by.
Yeah, he came in so hot, and he just did everything he could to keep from running in the back of Adam, and didn't hit anything, but he's going to have to do all that hard work all over again.
Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at this replay. This is Wardlow, I believe, as he gets around Larkamp.
And there we go. That's a tough place to pass. That's a really fast corner, so nicely done by both gentlemen, giving some room, but Dustin Wardlow able to get the best of Steven. And showing Tyler Graff in the pits as well. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it might be pit stop time here. Lap 16. It's probably right at the beginning of the window. Especially with that yellow flag lap, they can probably come in a little earlier than they would before. Heard some. They continue to race. Not heard an issue.
That was close between Andrew Kinsella and Tyler Graff. And Dan Guerin's coming into the pits as well.
Leader of all the cars who have pitted is Kinsella. He's in and out. Larkamp comes in. As Dan Guerin is rolling.
Everything's starting to happen now. Adam Blocker and Connor Harrington still stayed out there.
Guerin comes out ahead of Kinsella by about 6 seconds. Blocker and Harrington yet to come in. Order shuffled up, right? Weaver in third position. George Sandman behind him. Both of these drivers still need to make their stop.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that some of these guys came in so early because we did get those pace laps. So you should be able to go a little bit farther than normal, and then you don't have to fill up as much at the end. So I'm kind of surprised by that.
The gap between Blocker and Harrington, 2.8 seconds. You see that at the top of your tower.
Pretty close between third, fourth, and fifth. As Justin, Sandman, Weaver, Sandman, and Karam are all fairly close together.
Mike Rigney does a good job of getting out of the way of those three as they go by. Pit stops in all three of their futures.
Connor Harrington's going to go around one more time here. Connor Harrington as well. Like I said, I'm surprised that some of those guys pitted so early, because your limiting factor on the pit stop is your fuel.
Sage Karam coming in to make a stop. Guerin working just out of the fountain section right now into 12 and 13. You should be able to jump Karam. Karam now begins to roll. Guerin on the straight. This might be more closer than you think. And nope. There goes Guerin. Karen comes out right behind him, but ahead of Kinsella. Top 7 yet to pit. Last one being John Hill. There's John Hill. Now that driver right behind Hill, that is Dan Guerin. That's for a spot. But Hill still needs to make a stop. Guerin is ready to go. Guerin can't afford to wait too long because he got a hungry Sage Karam behind him. Harrington is in. George Sandman is in.
So that leaves Adam Blocker and Justin Weaver as the top 2 drivers. They have not pitted at the moment.
Guerin out of 13. Sandman beginning to roll. This could be close. Sandman turns the corner. There goes Guerin. And there goes Karam. Sandman comes out behind them, as does Andrew Kinsella.
Yeah, so Sage Karam was able to jump George Sandman because he was behind him before those pit stops. So it really comes down to, that in lap and especially the out lap. When you got those cold tires, the guy who can hang it out a little bit more, a couple of tenths is all it takes. As you saw that right on screen, as Sage was able to jump Sandman in the pits.
Leader is in. We don't expect anyone to jump him.
Yep, Weaver's in as well. So we'll see where Connor Harrington comes out. Harrington is now coming up to 12 and 13. Kind of watched Harrington's out lap. It wasn't the cleanest lap, so I don't think he's going to get to him. And as you see, he doesn't. Justin Weaver's still in the pit box for some reason. I don't know what happened.
Now he starts to roll. Weaver coming out next to Samuel Ryman. They come out together. Might have been a speeding penalty. They lose his position there to Stouffer. Oh, Stouffer's a lap down. Larkamp jumps him.
Yeah, he came in second. Definitely didn't come out in second. Oh, and he loses it. There's those cold tires. No tire warmers in IndyCar. And he's taking a tow, so his race is over. Yeah, he's got cold tires. He's trying to make up for that pit stop and just loses control. Coming up right here.
And that's the car going by with Sam Ryman. Just sneaking by. Hoping that the Moby Dickey's machine didn't reach right back in front of him. Sam with a good run, up in ninth. Pit stops are done. Let's run through the order 5 at a time. 1.3 seconds up on Connor Harrington is Adam Blocker. Now it's actually up to about 2 seconds as Blocker starts to negotiate some lap track of George Anzaldo. In second, it's Connor Harrington. He has been fast, but he's made mistakes. Let's see if he's able to run down Blocker. After a bat, oh no! Connor keeps going, a little bit scared. Boy, the car continues to squiggle. After a bad round last time, Dan Guerin doing much better, sitting in third. He's comfortable, no real pressure on him. The man racing from Indianapolis, and will be racing the World Indy 500, Sage Karam in fourth. He's only got 1 second, though, on George Sandman, who's closing the gap. Up 3 spots into fifth. Richie?
Yeah, Dustin Wardlow started 12th. Nice run up to 6 spots so far. Stefan Larkamp from 10th to 7th. Samuel Ryman doing a good job up to 8th spot. And I'm sure he's looking to have a little better luck this time, but he's done a good job from 14th to 8th. Coming in 9th spot is going to be David Altman, doing a good job as well, keeping it clean. And Andrew Kinsella, that early pit stop I thought would hurt him more, but he's worked his way up to, well, no, sorry, John Hill is in 10th spot. So sorry, John, doing a good job there. Brian Yaczik had a fast car last race, not so good at qualifying, but he's up to 11th. Had that early wreck, was able to fix the car. And Andrew Kinsella, let's just go to him. He's in 12th.
Yeah, we made a start of the rundown a little bit early as Kinsella, I think, had still a pit stop to make. He was running long. He's notorious for it. Well, actually, no. This is his second stop because remember he was one of the drivers that topped off.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So doing a good job up to 12th. Started 15th, and if you want to finish this out in the top 15, we got Bart Workman up to 13th spot. Great job from 22nd to 13th. And we got Joe Branch up to 14th position, starting 25th.
And we think that maybe Branch might have had an issue here.
Yeah. He's definitely missing pieces of his car, so that's not supposed to happen. Yeah, Yeah,
Waited.
just as we were talking about that, he gets past and just kind of.
Waited for the rundown. There you go.
Yep. I don't know. And let's
George-
let's give a shout out to Michael Goodman. So he started dead last on the field because he had some internet connection. It jumped in, and he's all the way up to 14th spot, starting 32nd. So nicely done for him.
First car 1 lap down is Michael Goodman. Well, try as Connor Harrington might like to do, he's not able to run down Blocker. Blocker feeling really comfortable. We're giving a penalty to car number 21. Drive-through penalty to Ferran Hacker for some reason. Uh-oh. Yaczik with an issue. Yeah, just lost. He was trying to make a move on John Hill, I think. Look to the inside.
Yeah, it's easy to get sucked in here. That corner tightens up really quick, so it looks like he lost it and went to the inside over the curb. He's able to keep going. Doesn't look like he has any damage, but definitely not helping his finishing order.
Yeah, you can see the car start to come around on him there, and he slides across the curbing. He continues racing. Leader working lap number 25, 8 to go.
Yep, Adam. I was just going to say Adam Blocker pulling away. It's got 3.3 seconds here. I want to point out that Dan Guerin's starting to come under a little bit of pressure from Sage Karam. Sage is kind of seeing him now. And I know Dan wants that podium position, so I'm sure he's going to fight hard for these last few laps.
Good news for Guerin is he has no lap traffic to slow him down in front of him. He should be able to race full song. We talked about the hard charger, a great run back there by Goodman. Chris Lanini, another driver doing really well. Did not put in a qualifying time. Lanini in 16th, started in 35th.
Everybody up front kind of separated out there. It's kind of cleaned up a little bit after all the pit stops. No real battles happening. Although Andrew Kinsella just proved me wrong as he's going to try to go to the inside of John Hill here. Wasn't able to get it done just yet, but they got some heavy traffic in front. Oh, no! Well, you can't go 3 wide, or can you? But that's left the door open for Andrew, but that's no room for the next corner as John stays in front. Andrew's going to try to push it in there. Nope, not going to happen. And John's going to have his hands full going down this back straightaway.
Tony Schowen was in a battle with Big Joe Hassard. Schowen took that evasive action. Now Hassard gets out of the way, and the battle continues here with Hill and Kinsella. Hill qualified in 18th, Kinsella in 15th. Based on qualifying times, they think they'd be equal. Based on reputation, Kinsella certainly the favorite there.
Oh, Brian Yaczik has just pancaked the wall hard. Yep. I was just jumping on board with him, and he just sent it. He's got no front wing. He's going to have to pit. Well, he's not going to pit. He's going to keep going. I guess it's getting far enough in the race. Just kind of hang on. But
Bart Workman was closing in on him, and boom. And now you see Workman go by. There goes Bart. Yaczik, oh, that car is undrivable as he loses more spots. Goodman goes by him.
That's too bad after that. After that early wreck, he got back into the game a little bit, but it's kind of ended it right here.
It's going to be a long 5 laps if Yaczik decides to keep that car out. James Brandt has just put the car on the wall. James was racing in 20th position. No need to go there. He brings it in. The track a little more friendly than it was last time. Attrition not quite as bad. We look at 8th position. Oh, careful, that car, that's Bolster getting out of the way. Ryman leading Altman. Ryman in the orange and yellow machine. Altman with the run back there. Cannot get there. Remember, that's Bolster who's not in the hunt. He's a lap down. They come up on Anzaldo, though. That is somebody that Bolster is racing with.
Yeah, not really. Oh, he's going to run into the back of him a little bit right there. Everybody keeps going, but pretty tight through here. Like I was just going to say, there's not really any room to pass, so it's got to be a little more careful than that. As Anzaldo continues his move, his race with
Bolster.
With Bolster, yeah.
There they
and they're going side by side.
Poor George pulled over. He pulled over to let the faster cars through, and Bolster said, well, I'll go through with them. That's not nice. We talk about that at our Backmarkers United meeting. That's just not cool, man. All right, Ryman ahead of Altman. Ryman up 6 spots, Altman up 2.
Sage Karam's been able to close up that gap to Dan Guerin a little bit. He's only 0.6 of a second behind him. He was 0.4 faster on the last lap, as you can see on screen how he's been closing in on him. 3 to go. Dan's going to have a handful to hold on to that podium position.
As they come at you.
We've got a couple of battles here. I mean, Dustin Wardlow's closed up on George Salmon as well. So not that long ago, it was pretty quiet, but all of a sudden we got all these battles all over the track near the end. Oh, David Altman has crashed his car trying to get by Samuel Ryman, so his car's walking like a crab. His race is over.
He brings it into the pits. It was we'll take a look at, there it is. Oh, a nice smack. We ride on board, and Ryman's got to be breathing a little easier, as Altman was on his tail.
Yeah, same spot. We saw some others have some trouble. Yep, that's going to be the end of that car.
So the battles we're watching are Guerin and Karam. That continues to tighten up. They have Tony Schowen in front of them.
And if you watch, you can see just in the distance there, Sandman and Dustin Wardlow as well battling.
And Karam.
Yeah, Karam's trying hard, just kind of loses control of the car a little bit. I saw him do this in qualifying too, in this same corner, just kind of lost it going into too much rear brake there. And doesn't hit anything, but loses all those spots.
And though those 2 cars will go by are the 2 cars that Richie was talking about, the battle for what is now 4th position, Sandman and Wardlow. Wardlow has a pretty good run. Wardlow right on him.
Yeah, he's definitely got the faster car. He's just going to find a spot to get by him. He looks like he's going to try right here. He's up on next to him. And, oh, boy.
As Richie might be a little bit on tape delay there as he...
Oh, yeah.
Up there. Yep.
That's all my fault. Sorry to get everybody excited.
It was exciting, though. I saw it, too.
Yeah, I'm live now.
There's Sandman and Wardlow about 4 or 5 car lengths apart. We are on the white flag lap. Adam Blocker has had it all his own way. Car in front of him is Damon Martinez. Last car on the lead lap, Martinez racing in 13th. through the technical section. Martinez has nobody to fight, but boy, he would sure like to finish on the lead lap if he could. No need for Blocker to force this pass. Blocker's got 6 seconds cushion, and then some. Out of 12, out of 13. Coming toward the finish line. It's back-to-back for Adam Blocker, as he wins the Loud Pedal Motorsports Duel number 2 at Detroit. Connor Harrington gets second. Guerin should get third. Let's check in on Sandman and Wardlow. They are finished. Larkamp coming across the line will get 7th. Ryman, after Altman spun off, gets a comfortable 8th position. Believe the next car will be Kinsella. Goodman is next. Hill coming across the line in 11th. 2 more cars to go. Bart Workman, and negotiating himself out of 13, the final car on the lead lap, Damon Martinez. And there you have it. We did 1 race, we did 2 races. They're both in the books. We'll take a short break. We'll come back for the Plasma Tracks Victory Lane post-race show, where we'll run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Loud Pedal Motorsports Duel in Detroit, the Plasma Tracks Victory Lane post-race show. If you're like me and you have trouble finding something for the man who has everything, I got the website for you. Plasma-tracks.com not only produces original racetrack wall art, Motorsports trophy, home decor, and Motorsports fabrications are also available. Words cannot do justice to the uniqueness of their wares. The only way to fully appreciate their artwork is to see it for yourself. But be warned, one visit and the next thing you know, you'll be trying to convince your spouse why you need a Plasma Tracks wall art hanging in your home. See it all at plasma-tracks.com. Use promo code LRS2019 to get 25% off your order. They probably won't be able to get it there by Father's Day, but it would make a great gift for Dad. All right, let's go ahead and run down the finishing order now of the second round of the Loud Pedal Motorsports Duel in Detroit. Adam Blocker gets the best of Connor Harrington. Dan Guerin and George Salmon go third and fourth. Dustin Wardlow finishes 5th after a mistake from Karen. He'll have to settle for 6th. Stefan Larkamp, Samuel Ryman goes 7th and 8th. Andrew Kinsella and Michael Goodman all finish on the lead lap.
Coming home 11th spot is going to be John Hill. Mark Workman coming home 12th after starting 22nd. Damon Martinez coming home 13th. Probably a little disappointed after his good run in the first race. The rest of these cars right here are all lapped down. Joe Branch in 14th. Chris Lanini 15th. Scott Bolster 16th. Chris Stouffer 17th. Mike Rigney 18th. George Anzaldo coming home 19th. And Big Joe Hasser coming home 20th.
Tony Schowen hits the blackjack position. David Altman in the double duck spot. Ron Hacker and Brian Yaczik all have issues. They finished 23rd and 24th. James Brandt and Justin Weaver in the Moby Dix's machine in 26th. 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th goes to Brian Beard, Tyler Graft, Brandon Limpkeman, and Scotty Johnson. Richie?
31st, Isaiah Dupree. Bob Micus 32nd. Brian Carey 33rd. Obviously, all these guys had some problems. 34th, Ken Hacker. 35th, Paul Jenkins. 36th, Justin Kirby. And the final finishing car will be Brian Greenlee.
All right, I get the pleasure of talking to the man who won not once but twice today, and that is Adam Blocker. Adam, congratulations on the win. Not a whole lot to talk about otherwise. Did you know that Connor Harrington was on your outside there a few times early on in that second heat?
Yeah, definitely kept me honest throughout the whole race. It was actually really close when that caution came out. He was almost in front of me, but yeah, I was just trying to hold what I thought I could run as my fastest pace without making mistakes. Made a couple little bobbles, like 2 or 3 laps in. I kind of got sideways in I think it's turn 5, and then coming out of the pits after my pit stop on cold tires, almost lost it as well. But yeah, I don't know. It seemed like he was pushing harder, so he had a little bit more pace, but I figured that with him pushing that hard, he would make a lot of little mistakes, and he did. So I was just trying to hold a steady pace that I could maintain.
Do you have a different attitude coming to a track where you know if you make a mistake, your race is over compared to one that's more forgiving?
Sure, yeah. I mean, compared to, let's say, like Spa or something like that,
Right.
where at Spa, where if you make a little mistake, I'll just use all the asphalt runoff out there. That's fine. You can run pretty much Q laps on half the laps. Here, you definitely can't do that. If you try to run qualifying laps on every lap or even part of the laps, I mean, you're going to end up in the wall. So, yeah, I was definitely just trying to be smooth, maintain the gap, and, it doesn't matter how much you win by, just got to win. So.
Well done, and you did it not only once but twice today. Congratulations. Adam Blocker wins round 6 and 7 here in the Lionheart IndyCar Series. Richie, who you got?
I believe we got Connor Harrington. Connor, you got a copy?
Yeah, what's going on, guys?
Hey, man, nice run. I know the first race didn't go the way you wanted, but the second race, I thought you had something for Adam. You were a little bit quicker than him at the beginning, but a couple of mistakes kind of took you out of play.
Yeah, really tonight, the main point was just too many dumb mistakes by myself. We'd done a lot of practice, and this place just it punishes you so hard when you make a mistake, even just a little one. So I'm sure we'll feel the pain later on in the season with after the first race, and we'll remember that one. And I'll probably look back and think, that's probably one where that's going to cost us a little bit in the championship. But really good to get second and survive the second race and make a good bounce back. So we're happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, Adam made it a little bit of a stinker in that first race, so we were kind of excited to see you pushing Adam a little bit at the beginning. But man, good run. I know this place is not easy. I've run it in real life, and it's just as tough in real life too. So I'm sure you're probably a little bit tired, and but nicely done, and we'll see you at the next one.
Yep. Cheers, guys. We'll see you on down the road.
Cheers.
There you go. I'm going to have the pleasure of talking to Tyler Graff. It's not often I get to talk to a driver who finished 28th in a race and say you had a pretty good day. But if we only consider what happened in round number 6, the first one, pretty good day.
Yeah, it was pretty good. The second one, I can at least know it really wasn't my fault. I chose the wall instead of hitting a lap car, and instead of turning back into the field and everyone else. So, but I was on track for fourth or fifth there. But
Yeah.
the second race was or the first race was awesome. I was um, I'm lost for words now. It's been a long day.
Well,
um,
you qualified sixth for this one and fourth for the other one. So clearly you like Detroit, because even for you, that's an impressive qualifying.
Thank you. Yeah, I've to say the least, I've dedicated the last month to practicing. Um, I'm glad to see it go for at least a year. I think with tonight I've done over 1,700 laps. So, but I'm just pumped. I threw away a top 5 at Watkins Glen with just a silly mistake, and I knew that with this next one coming out that I can out practice these guys and just be consistent. And I'm just happy that I was able to execute that this week.
Yeah, it clearly showed. The commentators noted it, and I think the fans see it as well. Congratulations. Good luck the rest of the way.
Yep, thank you.
Tyler Graff, your second place finisher in the first round. He gets a 28th in the second round. Richie?
Yeah, we got David Martinez, P3 in race 1. Really good job in that first race. Really competitive. Obviously, in the second race, had a little bit of an issue early on. Didn't quite work out. Still got 13th spot, though.
Yeah, first race, man, I was flying high. I was really close to Graf in the beginning or towards the end of it, and then I just got real loose, saved it, and then brought it home third in the second race. I think second lap after the restart, I just lost it in turn 5, and then had to wait for the entire field to pass me, and then I had a little wing damage. So I just decided to go until the fuel window and then get a new wing, and hopefully I could push and pass as many cars as I could.
Yeah, no, it was a good showing. Like I say, in the first race, you were fast, and just a little bad luck in that second race. You weren't the only one to have that bad luck. I mean, probably the only person who didn't was Adam. But tough event. I'm sure you're tired. Really good showing on screen, though. Looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, of course. I think it's an oval next one. So those are usually not my strong suit, but this was a good race. I mean, it was fun. There was 2 really fun, exciting races, and then thanks to everyone for putting it up. It was a good time. I want to thank Sage Karam. He's a close friend of mine. Without him, I probably wouldn't be half the driver I am now. Got to know him over the last year on iRacing. He just made me way quicker than I ever probably could have been without him.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, he did a good job in that second race, missing that first one. So once again, nicely done there, Martinez. And we'll see you at the next race.
Yeah, real quick, let me just congrats Sage. I mean, P6 for him. He's on a borrowed setup. He's on a backup rig because he's in Indianapolis. So, I mean, he did really well considering he's got half the equipment he has now. So, big shout out to Sage.
Yeah, we don't need him to get good stuff. We need him to keep him on that lower end stuff, right?
That's right. Which always makes me feel weird about when we give away all these cool hardware to the winners. Like, geez, this makes the rich get richer. Our final interview is going to be with Dan Guerin. Had a rough first round, but he did real well in the second one with a third place finish. Dan, congratulations, third place.
That was one of the hardest races I've ever done. The first race was not too good. I had hopes for getting a top 5 there. Started making a bunch of mistakes, and then I had damage. Tried to hold on to it, just kept spinning out. Had to pit twice, and third race just did a little bit better. Held on, kept her straight, and third is more of a win for me tonight.
You had that dang Sage Karam pestering you there at the end.
Yeah, I just kind of watched the relative a little bit and seen that he must have found a little sweet spot and started gaining on me. And if he would have had a big enough run, I was just going to let him go because I wanted to focus on just finishing the race. And with like 2 laps to go or something like that, he just spun out, and so I just held on for the rest of the way.
Well, congratulations. When we appreciate, I can tell that you're thinking championship. That's why you stayed out there and ran that first round when that car was so damaged, trying to get whatever points you could, right?
Yeah, I fell back like 28th or so. I'm pretty sure I was dead last. a few laps in, and rebounded back to like 17th or 18th. But yeah, it's got to look at the big picture here. We're only almost a third of the way through this thing, and just got to look at the big picture. I want to give a quick shout out to my sponsors here: Lock Precision, Midwest Simulations, Graphics, and Sim Racers for Mental Health.
You got it. And that's going to do it for us. Oh, we have one more. Sorry, we're going to
No,
top
we
two.
got
Who
one
you got?
more. We're
Hey.
going to bring in John Hill.
Hey,
Got it.
guys. Hi,
John-
Richie. Hi, Sue.
Hey, how's it going? Running the Sim Pit car, man. Nice job. Just outside that top 10.
Yeah.
But really good showing. Not an easy track, and you had to do it twice.
Yeah. And I just had a lot of fun. I just want to say you guys are the best. And I was amazed that I could keep Andrew Kinsella behind me for so long. And then I lost focus after he passed me, and I almost lost it. I think it was turn 8. And that's when I got passed again by Goodman. I forgot his first name.
Yep, Michael Goodman.
Yeah, but I had a great time anyway.
Hey, man, just surviving this race is a good time. So there's a lot of good drivers who did not. So, yeah, we wanted to give a shout out to you because you had a really good showing. And looking forward to seeing you at the next one.
Yeah, I had to make up for Sean not being here. So that's what I did.
You got to just give him a kick in the butt and tell him to show up.
I will. Well, it was his birthday yesterday. So
that doesn't count.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot for taking my call.
There you go, Sue.
All right, that's going to do it for us now. Let's thank First Medical Equipment. They've been the source of medical supplies and equipment in the Burlington, Iowa area for years because of their superior commitment to provide the absolute best in product quality and customer service.
The team behind the AccuForce Pro V2 direct drive steering systems, by providing unparalleled realism and the most advanced tuning features on the market, the AccuForce provides a significant advantage to any sim racer. It can also make for an effective training tool for real-world drivers. For more information on the entire sim experience ecosystem, including the GS5 seat, Stage Series motion system, and Sim5 software, please visit simexperience.com and also use that promo code SIMXLION to get 5% off Sim5 software.
The Butt Kicker products add instant immersion to any game. Unlike a subwoofer that moves air and loses accuracy and force, Butt Kicker products move actual mass, producing haptic immersion that's powerful and accurate. Butt Kicker products add that missing drive-to-car connection, bringing more realism and immersion to your sessions. See all the family of products at thebuttkicker.com. Use promo code LION25 to get 25% off your order.
To contact any of the sponsors you see on your screen right now, go to lionheartracingseries.com. Click on 2018 sponsors, read or scroll to the bottom where you can click on the company logo.
And there are some of the companies and equipment software that we use to bring this broadcast to you. The iconic music that lets your ears alert your eyes you're watching a GSRC production comes courtesy of June Lalonde. See the screen to how to get a hold of her.
The Lionheart IndyCar Series returns in 1 week, Wednesday, May 29th, round 8 at the Motegi Oval, as Damon Martinez was correct. GSRC and IESN will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us. The next broadcast on IESN is GSRC's coverage of the Precision Racing League's Radical Series, round 6 from Spa. Coverage begins Thursday, April 25th at 9 p.m. Eastern.
And somebody needed to take that out of the script, as that is long since gone. Sliding across your screen now are just some of the upcoming broadcasts, and I promise you these are actual upcoming. So check those out and mark them down on your calendar. If you'd like more information about GSRC, including a complete list of future broadcasts, you can find us at globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSRC Channel and Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel. And if you haven't done so yet, become a GSRC subscriber by heading over to our YouTube page and hitting that big red button. Finally, on behalf of the entire crew, that'd be Richie, Amjad, Dougie, I'd like to thank you all for watching. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle as we saw Adam Blocker go back-to-back here in the Loud Pedal Motorsports Duel in Detroit. Until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.